Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here with the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook on Monday the 16th of December. Looking pretty wintry out there at the moment across most of the mountains. Temperatures will just be lifting a bit through this week though, so we'll see that freezing level rise even just above the highest summits temporarily, but I think any thaw across the Scottish high tops will be short-lived. It looks a pretty unsettled run up to Christmas though, as weather systems keep coming in from the Atlantic. Within that is going to be a mixture of rain and upland snow, and freezing levels may just vary from day to day into the weekend and beyond. Let's have a run through the sequence then according to the 850 millibar chart. That's at around 4,000 feet, a bit more in the atmosphere, so we're corresponding to the highest tops in Scotland, and we're sub-zero for another day or so yet. Lift of temperatures though coming in from the south through into Thursday, and temporarily I suspect even the highest Scottish tops will just lift above freezing point. Now just to take this onwards then towards the weekend, you'll see how temperatures stay around a similar value, 1 or 2 degrees at this level. You might just find then the highest Scottish tops are at or just below freezing point heading into the weekend, just those temperatures dropping a touch. I suspect England and Wales, the hills here, will be generally above freezing for a few days, so the existing snow cover on the higher Welsh tops and the tops of the Lake District will tend to thin over the days ahead. Scottish mountains though, that snowpack will stay more or less in existence, just thinning a little bit in the days toward the weekend. Temperatures then onwards into the early part of next week on those highest tops around freezing point, above say 1,000 metres. You might find that the freezing level is down to 800 metres occasionally, mainly in Scotland. So a rather complicated sequence of weather charts lies ahead through this week. For Tuesday, a slack zone of low pressure is decaying towards the north of Scotland, remnants of fronts drifting eastwards, with some showers of snow and hail around, but a good amount of dry weather too across the Highlands, locally gusty winds for a time, also some spells of much lighter winds. Across the Lake District and the Pennines, maybe a bit gustier for more of the day as that west by southwesterly is in here, mostly light winds across Wales, and the front that's across southeast England not having anything to do with any of the mountain regions. For Wednesday, the flow turns a bit more to the south. We've got some weather fronts moving in from the Atlantic, a complicated series of fronts coming in here, but only late in the day. So for most places on Wednesday, it's a dry day. There'll be some banks of low cloud and some fog around at low levels too, but also some good breaks with some sunshine trying to come through. The wind from the south and southeast will strengthen through the day, gale force across Wales through the afternoon into the evening, and then widespread gales and rain, preceded by snow, will advance to most of Britain through overnight into Thursday. This is where we get to by the middle of the day on Thursday. One front has pushed northwards across Scotland, taking its rain and upland snow through. Some further pulses of rain, bit of sleet on the highest tops may well come back in from the south into the southwestern Highlands, but a chance of much of Scotland escaping with a reasonable day. Best of your cloud breaks towards more northern regions, and a brief lull in the winds, having had the upland gales overnight. Various ripples of fronts, though, threaten to push across England and Wales, which may give some more prolonged bursts of rain coming back in through Thursday daytime, and the winds a bit gustier here as well. Precise detail must be said open to a bit of question. And the same goes for Friday, another complicated tangle of fronts rotating northwards across Britain under a general zone of low pressure. The risk of some heavy rain, snow really just confined to the highest tops, mainly in Scotland through this time. It may well be that the winds are quite light, but just watch for some strengthening at least for part of the day. Detail then rather tricky for now. Detail and timing, uncertain it must be said into the weekend. Basically, one of those systems has pulled northwards and eastwards. The next frontal system is trying to come back in from the west and southwest. So a possible window of better weather, but short-lived before the next weather system does move in. Absolute timing then into the weekend is up for grabs at this stage. Here's the big picture in the run-up to Christmas then. It looks as though low pressure is dominant over the North Atlantic, so a pretty unsettled trend with the risk of gales, even severe gales on the mountains at times early next week. Spells of rain, upland snow, perhaps mostly confined just to higher tops for a few days, with freezing levels a bit higher than we've seen over the past weekend or so. A general southwesterly is what's most likely according to many of the computer models through the middle of next week, so through the Christmas period itself. Now, how active the weather regime is then is uncertain. It may be that pressure just tends to build a little bit from the south, and if that does happen, then we might just be a little bit quieter, but I'd always be looking at some weather systems still trying to come in from the west. So some low cloud, some rain, some drizzle at times. I think any sleet and snow just on the very highest tops at this stage. We'll watch those details, but I think that general southwesterly is the message that we're going with at this stage. Just to finish with, a teaser towards New Year, and always once we're more than a week or 10 days down the line, we're stretching the imagination in terms of the confidence in the forecast, but this is just one of the indications that we've got for that New Year period, and it starts to build higher pressure around and to the north of the British Isles between Scandinavia and Greenland, pulls lower pressure a bit further to the south. So if that were to happen, we'd open the door to something coming in a bit more from the east, drag the weather systems further southwards, and the chance then for something colder to return to the forecast. Whether that comes true or not is anybody's guess at this stage, so it's one to keep an eye on going forwards. Stay up to date then with your local forecast every day on our website. We'll update the video again for you later in the week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.